I'm 32 years old and I'm announcing my comeback. If you have been following the Swimmer Strength channel for a while, you know that we are focusing in on making swimmers more powerful and also to reduce their risk of injuries outside of the pool, and then to put it all together and make them faster inside of the pool. And if you are new to the channel, my name is Dennis Sekmati. I'm your performance coach and sports scientist, and welcoming you guys officially. Like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Hit the notification button so you can be notified each week when we're uploading new content. And this week, like you noticed, I am announcing a comeback. How can masters swimmers get back into the pool and go for another PR? Let's look a little closer on how I'm going to accomplish this. Granted, this is a very soft comeback. I am not going to surround my entire life to come back and swim as fast as I can. Elite level swimmers, they train 30 plus hours a week. When I was in college, I trained 20 plus hours a week, and I will not nearly get close to training over 10 hours per week. So I will be training significantly less, and by no means this is going to be a hard comeback, and I'm only going to go for a 50 breaststroke because I don't want to recondition myself to make 100. Anyone who's been with the sport of swimming, who knows what it takes to swim a fast 100 breaststroke or 100 of whatever stroke, knows how demanding that is on the body. And the older we get and the longer breaks we take from swimming, the harder this will be. So let's identify some problems here. Problem number one, I am not in the same shape I was when I went my best time 8.5 years ago. 2012 is when I went my best time. And that's gonna be tough to come back into because I was about 3-4 years away from swimming at all. Just doing more movement-based and coaching swimmers, obviously, before I came back into some light masters swimming. And next problem, I have a family. I have a family that I'm dedicated to, a son and a wife. They are my number one priority. So to take a full comeback and to make that a super priority is not my intention here. Problem number three, I am really limited, like I said, in my training hours. Can I go a best time training less than 10 hours per week? But granted, I will be doing everything I can to the best with those 10 hours. Let's now look at some background. The American College of Sports Medicine, ACSM, they have some recommendations on what is healthy amount of training. Now, we get sedentary when we're not moving a lot, when we are keeping the intensity levels low and we're going out maybe just walking around 2 or 3 days a week. That is actually considered sedentary. If we are training 30 to 50 hours per week, that is considered really elite and super healthy. Guys, the more we are actually exercising and training, the healthier it is for our body. Can we do that in unhealthy ways? Sure. Like the guy who did an Ironman every day for 50 days, right? One in every state. To me, that becomes a little bit unhealthy, but the more you generally work out and the more safe you are as you're doing it and the more intense you are and you have your plan, the healthier you will be in the long run. My background, my muscles have atrophied. We're in the midst of a pandemic. I started training in March. I was training for 2 weeks and then we got right into the pandemic, so I made a conscious choice of shutting it down to see if I could switch and push this little comeback to then this season. And we don't know what's gonna happen this summer, right? So I'm giving myself this summer and potentially even next summer to go this best time. But my muscles have atrophied. I don't have as much muscle as I did before the pandemic, so I need to come back into some good strength base levels again. My weight, typically I am a lightweight swimmer. I do not have as much mass as others, but I am typically a little bit more lean. But the pandemic has gotten the best out of me, so I do have to recondition myself as best as I can to get back into under 10% in body composition. My training background, it has not been as consistent as I would have hoped. I do not swim on a consistent and regular basis. If you want to go best time to swim, you do have to swim. However, I do trust a lot of my base technique and my abilities of swimming breaststroke, and for me to go in and find my tempo and my feeling in the water. But then the main thing is going to be to recondition myself to keep up, to hold the tempo for the entire 30 seconds. Almost 2 years ago, I attempted to do a soft comeback. Didn't want to go best time, but I realized how tough that was the last 15 to 20 meters in a 50 breaststroke to then be, what was I, top 30, close to top 30, 35 at Swedish Nationals about a year and a half ago without much training. So let's see if I can come back to a best time. And when I did go my best time, I finished second at Swedish National Championships. Now the competition levels have gone much higher. So if I do go best time and if I'm ever at a national championship, maybe I will be happy to make an A final. That's how much the sport of swimming is actually growing. Lastly, a little background on myself. I do have a little bit of areas that I'm feeling pain. For you to have an idea, my knee, my right knee and my right lower back is really bad. I pulled my knee about 2 years ago almost. That was close to that championship that I was just referring to in Sweden, so not the most optimal preparation for it, but it's okay. I also have left shoulder lat that's nagging me a little bit, and besides that, my right ankle, I do have some issues with my mobility. I do have to pay a lot of attention to my mobility and my movement patterns. Same thing with my internal rotation in my right hip, also external rotation in my right hip. My back and my thoracic spine has to get much better at extending, and I must also get better at rotating and just generally improve my scapulothoracic mobility, because my streamline has always been bad, and that's something that I need to keep improving. And if you want to learn more about the streamline and underwaters, next Wednesday, January 27th, we have a book club webinar coming up on it, completely free. Link is in the bio. A little bit more background on what happens when we are actually exercising. Guys, the mitochondria in our body, in our muscles, mitochondrial density, that increases. Our bone mineral health, it goes up. Our muscle mass increases. We improve our pulmonary system, our cardiovascular system, our mental health. There's so many aspects of our life that improves when we are exercising. Now, let's look at the solutions. How am I actually going to go a best time in the 50 breaststroke? Well, besides obviously adding a lot more swimming into my routine, there are three main things I need to focus in on. The first is my injuries. I have to make sure that I am not in pain. And if I want to come back to swim faster than I've ever done, I will have to push my body to some lengths that I have never been before. And I will, yes, focus a lot more on the strength training than I will on the swimming. Next, I have never been really strong. I'm talking raw strength. Relative strength, yes, compared to my body weight, not bad, but I've never been really super strong. So I need to get my body into shape, my joints and my tendons ready to get into a few good phases of maximal strength training. Typically, this is not very recommended for many swimmers. This is where we can get hurt and also get slow in the water. But I know myself and I know my strengths and my weaknesses, and maximal strength, that is currently my weakness. Lastly, conditioning. I have to get my power endurance up. This is something that when I get older, I tend to shy away from a little bit more. And if you are a former college swimmer and if you've been or you were with the program, and I think it's gonna be like a 50-50 here. A lot of us had some sort of love-hate relationship to swimming. A lot of us finish swimming and then continue on going back into regular life and just enjoy exercise, enjoy training. But swimming in college sucked the living life out of exercise and health from me. It was such straining for me, and it was really intense that I told myself when I was a swimmer that I was never gonna wake up and jump in the pool again at 6 a.m. I was not gonna push through so much pain, because there were so many seasons I went through just grinding it out and not getting much better, wondering what I was doing wrong and also getting injured. I didn't want to do that anymore. And rightfully so. College training or training in general can scar so many of us, and to find the love and the passion to come back is challenging. And for me to do that, I have to set a goal, sometimes a loftier goal, the better. And like I said earlier, the more intense we are actually training, the more health benefits we're getting. So why am I doing this? Well, for three main reasons. The first one is because of my own health. The more I exercise, the more I move, the healthier I am, the better I feel. Number two, a lot of you guys have asked me, how does masters swimmers come back into swimming and back into training? And I don't think there's a better case study than to use myself in this, right? Who has a family, who has been away from swimming for so long, who is admittedly not in the water for that much. The last time I actually swam for more than 30 minutes might have been more than 6 to 8, 9 months ago. I started 2020 really amazingly with the Sun Devil Swimming Masters, swimming 101 100s, all with fins, long course. Took me 3 hours, and it was the worst thing I have done in many years. But since then, and I had an idea that I wanted to do a comeback that year, Didn't happen, shut down training, and now we're coming back into it. And I know a lot of you guys can obviously here relate to me. Sorry for rambling. I want to give you guys a quick little snippet of how my training currently looks like. It looks like GPP, General Preparatory Phase, and I'm going to stay here for about 2 months. I'm going to be working a lot on mobility, a lot on general strength, and just to get my body more balanced. Can I reduce my injuries in these 2 months? And after that, how much stronger can I get, and when can I actually get my first PR in the weight room, and when can I get my first PR in the water? That one is going to take a lot longer than my PRs in the weight room. Okay guys, I'm excited for you guys to follow me on this journey. I'm excited to share what I am doing, and also to not just hone in on myself in this channel. We're gonna keep rolling through different videos anyway. And with that being said, thank you guys for listening. Like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys soon.